And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Production Line. And our last car just ran out the door there. So we are going to optimize this quite a bit, or at least try to. I've researched all of the specializations, so that should be good to go on there. And now I'm researching factory expansion, because that's the next step. So let's see if we're going to be able to fit the full line, the full production line for one row in this length of factory here. I'm still not sure if it's going to fit. So let's see here. We're going to want to line up right here. So 2 spaces above this, 2 full. So right in here, I think. I'm going to put a conveyor. I'm going to put a conveyor on there just to mark where the middle is. Not that it really matters, but I kind of want to just mark that down just so I know. Okay, so we're going to go into, I'm not going to separate the axles just because these are, it's really not necessary. I could, it's 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. So yeah, it's really not something I want to do. So we are going to snuggle this up right onto here. So I think it was right. Oh, now it's really going to screw me up. Okay, that was the expansion. We're gonna want, I think, we're gonna need to start unlocking the features. So let's start unlocking all the different features and get my midpoint line back up again. So right in there, that's my midpoint. Okay, back to what I was doing. Fit axles. Okay, snuggle that right up to it. And now that that's marked, I can go ahead and remove that. So fit axles is good to go. Now we want to fit undercarriage. And now we want fit fuel tank. Just like that. And next, we're going to want, instead of the full fit body, we're going to fit all of these individually here. So this is going to get pretty crazy, pretty fast. All right, so roll cage, I think this is the one. No, yeah, fit roll cage. This is the one that allowed us to kind of expand a little bit. Now, the unfortunate thing here is this has 13.45 seconds, whereas the rest of these, that's 8 seconds for fuel tank. So if we do roll cage, that will snuggle right up into here pretty nicely. Unfortunately, do we want to individualize this? Because we would be kind of limited. I'm gonna limit it for now, because I don't know how much space we're gonna need. So we're going to try to get all of these running in here. Fit hood. Oh, research is complete already. Nice. We're going to want driver assistance. And actually, I'm going to pause it while I do this because I'm just bleeding money from my research right now. And I'm not producing any money. So that's a bad thing. So fit trunk. So fit hood and then fit trunk. Now fit bumpers. And bumpers, I don't have split apart rear and top either, or rear and front. So that's bottom trim. Arches also, I'm doing all in one. So this one is like that. Oh, we are almost a third of the way through already. So fit vent, I think, is a simple one, thank goodness. Fit roof is just the roof, so that's all good. That's a huge thing for a roof. Okay, now door panels, windows, wing mirror. Now, that is the body. Now we need paint, and this is This is where we get a little tricky here. Paint undercoat. I think I'm going to... We're just going to go right into paint undercoat. But the dry, we're going to need to split. So I'm going to... Let's see. We're going to... I'm going to split those like this. I'm going to put one there and one here. And then the paint finish, I want to come across like this. This is taking up a little bit more space than I was hoping. So dry, I'm going to need to split here and here. Paint finish. We're going to put it back there. I think that lines up. And then dry finish, again, 2 of these. So there is the paint. Now it's the engine, and this one is a brutal one. So flywheel, let's line ourselves up again. Okay, so flywheel, starter motor, valves. Okay. Now radiator, exhaust, fit wheels, tires, brakes, steering wheel, I want to split off, steering column, steering wheel. Okay, now accessories. Fit lights. I'm gonna leave a space. I'm a little more relaxed about our space now, so I'm gonna give ourselves a little bit of room here on accessories. So this is fit lights, horn, seats, windows, windscreen, windshield, or whatever. Okay, and now fit electronics is already done, so this is all ready to go here. And I think that ties it all together. So the last part is our conveyor, trying to merge all these together here. And we used about 500 grand to get all those ready. So that was not a cheap system there. Like so, and then all of these go down, tie it into accessories, and finally the last step. Okay, now for resources. We're gonna want an importer here and here. So the conveyors, let's see, we're gonna tie these together. Granted, we don't have a resource importer anywhere close to the middle here, so I think I'm gonna stretch. Let's see, bottom trim, arches, vent, all of these. So let's see, all of these we're gonna tie in to this one, and probably this one as well. There's an easier way to go about that. Like so. Let's see, trunk, bumpers. I think maybe we could probably do trunk, bottom trim, and bumpers on this one line here. And then I want to skip to the next one, which is over here. Okay, so door panels, we're gonna branch off like this. And then paint, See, door panels I've got already. Windows, wing mirrors, paint, undercoat. All of these I can line up just like that. And we're going to tie it into this one. So these are all, starting at fit windows, are all tied into this resource importer. And then over here, this is messy in here. This is all my engine stuff. Oh yeah, this is going to be a little messy in here. So let's stretch this out to tires, wheels, brakes. Those are all 4, 4, and 4 at a time. So I'm going to tie this one into steering column. And then these are all going to be tied into this one here, because these are lesser used. And then all of these, I'm going to need sort of a miracle to get all of these running properly here. So those are all connected now. You can see there's already a ton of stuff that they're trying to order. So let's start time again and hope that we can do this. So let's start importing everything. I'm going to do medium speed since that took a while. So all the things are going to start getting loaded in, and I'm already starting to make the car. So that is good. So all the fuel tanks, that's rather expensive. Hoods, not so much, but fuel tanks are actually pretty expensive. A specialized item there. And it looks like all of this is stocked. These are all getting stocked now, thank goodness. All the starter motors, wheels, tires, brakes. Looks like valves already did its work there. And accessories are all good. So these are all running. Now it's just a matter of speeding up fit axles. I think that is basically my big bottleneck right now, is fit axles, because it is more expensive. So we're going to need to research the more robots in order to actually get that to work. So we've already got a car. We already got a car in dry here, and this is 24 seconds, which is why I doubled this up. Painting doesn't take very long. Painting is less than 8 seconds. But drying is a different story. It looks like these are not connected. Let me make sure those are connected there. Do the same to here. There we go. Now we got one over there. Okay, so we're unlocking features right now. And because now that we have the line run, we can actually add some features into these cars. You know, this line maybe I'll keep as just the basic car. I don't know. We've already got that price set. There's no accessories to, you know, reduce the cost, reduce the value of the cars. So they should sell pretty consistently. Now, I don't know how they'll sell once we start pushing vehicles with accessories, because they'll be a little less, you know, attractive, because they're just the basic motor on wheels sort of thing. I don't even know if they have cup holders. Let's assume they don't have cup holders. So this is the first car through the system. Just want to make sure my system keeps up. Now, when we start making our own materials, that is where we're going to need to look at major optimizations, because some of these make things take a while, and we're going to need a lot of them. All right, our first car went out the door, and we weren't asked for a price because it's the same. It's essentially the same model that we made before. We just stretched out the production system of it, and you know, it just kind of works itself out. So the safety features, the one thing I want to unlock before I do anything more is more robots. That way I can upgrade the axles to a little bit faster. You know, it'll knock it down to be more in line with the 8 seconds here. Some of these are really fast, and some of them are not. And I'm not sure. So there's 8.2 for arches, just because we don't split the arches out. We're doing both front and rear arches in one, because I wasn't sure how much space we were going to have. And with this system, we only have, about five squares, maybe more if we really crammed everything together. But with this system, we're basically going to push a car through, every 10 seconds, 10 to 13 seconds is how fast cars are going to go out the door. So we want to optimize any of these stations that aren't doing so hot as far as time goes. We're going to want to upgrade their robots so they get a little bit faster. So it looks like about 8 seconds, 9 seconds there. Oh, doing pretty good. 4 seconds there. And the big bottleneck is the dry. So 24 seconds. So I'm doing one every 12 seconds. So this is basically, that's 28.4 seconds. So that's 14.2. So one every 14.2 seconds. So this right here is my major bottleneck right now. And yes, I could add a third dry, but I don't really want to right now. So extra robots is done. That was nice and fast. Let's see, environmental features now. And it looks like valves, it looks like it's keeping up, and he changed, there's a temporary fix for resources right now, where he took the valve requirement from 8 valves to 4 valves. And I think he's more or less going to make the valves a double, so it's eventually it's going to still take 4, but it's going to they're going to be doubled, so the resource cost is going to be doubled, because the fit valves on its own could saturate an entire system. You can see tires, wheels, and brakes are pushing this resource importer to the limits right now. Whereas this one really isn't. This one is not really all that pushed. So I may, if I can, connect. See if I can do this here. I'm going to connect this one up with this one and see if we're going to start pushing some material up over through here. That would really help if we can start ordering stuff from this side, because this one's tapped out. This one's maxed out. All right, environmental features unlocked, and convenience, and then entertainment, and then performance. Although performance is more of an end game. Looks like he upped the cost of these as well. So are we starting to pull? I'd really like to start seeing, because this one's maxed out. You can see we're not doing so hot on this one. So I don't want to crash the game. So I may just close this off here. Maybe, hopefully, make that catch up to itself. And then all my other stuff can come through here. You can see it's swapped over. So now everything is coming in through this one. We're picking up the pace on this a little bit. That's good. We started filling these up. Well, hopefully that makes a difference. So quite a ways for everything to come in. What are you out of? Windows. Okay, so this one can now focus on windows and paint, and the first bit of the engine, which is just the valves are the most used. So you can see valves are now full, whereas before it was struggling because it was still having to send in the tires and the wheels and the brakes. So it looks like just swapping the resource importer that those use went a long way to help out. All right. Looks like wheels and tires, those are staying pretty steady. I like to see that. Oh yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. And we're already making some serious money. You can see, this is where we bought everything. And now we're on the rise again. So this is good. But look at component purchases. A massive amount. And if we go to prices, you can see, I mean, for every brake we're buying, door panels, those are expensive. So as we buy stuff, so fuel tanks, $333 for one of those. Glass, that's a raw material. So let's look at steel. So that's $50. Steel sheet is $60. We can actually make steel sheets now. He added a way to make those. But some of these other things, sunroof, that's rather expensive. I don't know if we can actually make those or not yet. Valves are pretty cheap. Anything that's close, because a lot of things take steel, so I'm sure valves will take steel. But, to make a valve is $65 or $50. But you also have to factor in employees. Employees are making these things, and you're having to pay the wages. So that is a big factor in, how economical it would be to make them on your own. So tires, probably a pretty good bet because it's $198 for a tire, and rubber is $19. So depending on how much rubber it takes, we'd probably be able to make our own tires. But we're going to need a lot of them in order to satisfy demand. And we're going to need to lay this out, so eventually we're going to start pulling all of our own material in from these side areas. Instead of hooking resource importers directly up, these things will be connected via other areas here. So I need to look at what we can make. I'm going to need like a spreadsheet or something to figure out what we can make, because we can't make starter motors, but we can make valves, and it would be very difficult to hook up starter motors with a resource importer. But valves have it not hook up. So that would be very difficult. Or we can use a stockpile. So everything gets pulled from like this huge area here. So this huge area will be making engine components, accessories, all of that stuff. And it will be pulled in and siphoned into this area. And so we could make a stockpile in here. Stockpile starter motors. And that way that stockpile is closer to the starter motor here. And it wouldn't pull in resources from outside in order to fit, radiators or something like that. All right, looks like we are going pretty strong, and might want to speed up drying. So that might be something that we're going to need to research. But that'll have to do it for this episode. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.